But yeah, you guys, that's all that goes into growing an inside garden. I just labeled all of my pods so I will know which ones are which. And I wouldn't have to struggle, because that's one thing that will happen if you use this and you don't have labels for your plants. You will struggle to find out which ones are which, and you're not going to know until they fully grow or they let up fruit. But yeah, I think I'm going to be keeping this on my desk for now until I can find the top part to my dresser so I can put it on top of my dresser. You'll know what it is if I end up showing you. And I know that a lot of people have been wondering why I haven't posted a garden tour or I haven't posted anything having to do with the garden. So, update on that. A lot of the things in the garden are just dying and aren't producing what I want them to be producing. Like, I have 2 or 3 more cantaloupe plants left, and only one of them has a fruit that's actually growing on it. So that's very discouraging. And I think I have 3 pepper plants that are producing like a pepper every 30 days. I literally have 1 pepper that I picked 2 days ago. And what else do I have? I have a few flowers, like my sunflowers are trashed. The bugs got to them and ate all their leaves, so they only produced little tiny, little minuscule flowers, and they were mammoth sunflowers. But what else do I have? I have a few more cantaloupes on the ground that are being eaten up by insects. My pumpkins aren't really taking off yet. Everything isn't really growing right now, but I will be showing you guys another one tomorrow, just because I know that there's people who still want to see the garden and see the chicks. Because if you don't know, I did buy chicks. I bought 2 chicks because beforehand I had 10 chicks, well 10 cockerels, which are male chicks if you didn't know. And even though they were male chicks, I still wanted them, I still kept them, but they were attacked by dogs. I think I had a whole video where I cried about it. But yeah, they were attacked by dogs, they were eaten up, and I still wanted chicks, so I bought more chicks. I bought 2 chicks. I bought 2 girl chicks. One is Lily. She's a buff Orpington, golden buff Orpington chick, and I got a, black Australian Australorp chick. Her name is Rona. And obviously I have a thing for Australorps because all of my men chicks were Australorps. And so I got another Australorp chick. But yeah, I guess tomorrow I'll do a video showing off how I have them, how I feed them, how I water them, and then showing off my garden, showing off anything that I'm planning on doing in my garden, because I do plan on going out there and planting my transplants of peppers that I've been growing. I've been growing a lot of cayenne peppers, and there's a whole tray of peppers that I forgot what they are, and I think some of them are eggplants. I don't know, we'll have to wait until those grow out to see what they are. But yeah, I think I'll do a whole video on that tomorrow, but this is it for this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, so I have successfully planted all that I wanted to plant. I have my Paris Island lettuce here. I still need to clean up some of the dirt. I planted kale in the... Did I plant? No, I planted spinach in the middle because I wanted to make sure I could differentiate the leaves. I planted 3 different types, like plants that were completely different types, because I wanted to show you guys the way that each one of them grow. Now I have grown lettuce in here before. I've grown a butter crunch lettuce, and I think I've grown the spinach in here before. The kale I've never grown in here before, but everything else I've grown in here before. But after you get to this point to where you planted all your seeds, the system does come with these. These are like mini greenhouses that you just toss on top of the plants, and it gives them a lot more moisture. It traps in a lot more of the moisture. So whenever they grow up and they start hitting this, you can just take that off. Okay guys, so something else I wanted to know while I was planting these seeds, because I've already planted 3 of these Paris Island lettuce seeds. Sorry for this knife, I had to cut open the package because it was glued together. But I got these seeds from the dollar store, and I know it says 99 cents, but these were actually 25 cents. And these have a lot of seeds. You see, hold up. Do you see all of those seeds at the bottom of this bag? Those are each a singular lettuce plant. So if you actually planted every single one of these seeds, you would get a lot of lettuce plants. So I'm probably gonna have to start me a lettuce field, and hopefully I'll get some more plants and have a lot of these germinate, and I can actually start a lettuce field. Okay, you guys, so I cleaned up the mess that I had made there, and I filled up the water reservoir all the way to the, well, not all the way to the top, but as much as I could. And see, like, it has to be almost nearly, like, all the way overflowing to read that it's at the top. But it had a lot of water in it beforehand, and it only goes whenever it's above a little line. But I have chosen the 3 different types of things that I'm going to plant in here. I'm going to plant 3 Paris Island, whatever that means, COS lettuce. I'm going to plant 3 of these. I'm going to plant 3 spinach plants, and I'm going to plant 3 kale plants. Now I am going to multi-sow a few of these seeds just because I want to make sure that I get germination. And if any of the seeds are salvageable after I plant them and thin, then I'll probably plant them outside, or I'll plant them in an area close to the light so they can still get that light. Because as you can see, there is a thin layer of light right here that it does reach. So if I were to like move this in the middle, I could probably get 2 rows of like 2x6 plants and then have them on both sides and grow. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on planting these. I have a little dowel that I'm going to use to stick in here and plant the seeds. So right now I have it on my altar. I'll move this way and clean it up a bit. But if this is my Click and Grow garden, as I told you, it has 9 different pods. This is the grow lights that it grows under. And this only spends about $7 worth of energy per year. So it's a very energy efficient grow system. That was one of the things that I was looking at that intrigued me on this system. And there's a water reservoir right there. Now this is one thing that I can say I absolutely hate about this machine. The water reservoir does not work. Like, it looks like there's no water in there. Ooh, fuck. But if you take this out, you can clearly see that there's some water in there, or there's enough water in there to keep it going. Hey guys, what is up? I am here with another video, and as you can see, we are in my room, which is kind of weird considering that the only videos I do on here anymore are garden tours. But today I'm going to show you guys how I do my indoor gardens. So if you guys don't know, whenever I was talking about my indoor gardens, the machine that I actually use is called the Click and Grow. So this machine holds 9 pods. These are the pods that they come in. These are best used for mini plants, mini garden plants like lettuces, small lettuces, spinach, maybe some basil. I wouldn't try to grow anything like peppers or anything else in here. I also, if I were going to recommend you get a garden, an indoor garden, I couldn't say that I recommend this one out of all of them. Mostly because this one, it was really expensive. And so whenever I bought it, I thought that that meant that it was going to work better. When in reality, it doesn't work well enough for me to use it that often. So for starting these gardens, all you have to do is, well, if you buy the prepackaged cups, or if you're buying the machine, it comes with however many pods you're gonna need to fill up your machine already. So I got the 9 pod machine, so it came with 9 pods in mine. And so after I had used all the pods, you have basically these empty pods. They have a wick at the bottom and a water reservoir tank. The water wicks up through this small wick and then keeps the soil moist. So literally after you plant your seeds, you never have to touch them. If you just sit this in your Click and Grow machine, then it completely takes care of your plants for you. Now, the plants won't last that long because they're not getting any nutrients unless you have a nutrient-dense soil. So, I would look into that if you were wanting long-term plants. Also, if you were starting maybe a mini determinant style tomato, you could probably keep those in here. But these cups are very tiny, so either I'm using these to start lettuces or something that I'm wanting to keep inside, or I'm using these to start plants. A lot of the plants that I've started, like my pepper plants that are outside now, those are started in these pots. I don't know what's wrong with this one. This one looks like it has some sort of calcium all over it. But yeah, so literally all you do is I have some soil here. You just fill these little pods up with soil, and they don't require that much soil. You just need to make sure that you have them packed down, because the seeds are going to need as much soil room for their roots as possible. And something that I have recently been looking at that I am gonna contradict myself on, that I said in a past video, is I said that you don't want to keep your plants in small pods or small starter pots for that long because they're going to get root bound or something. I have been recently noticing that if you want to reduce the amount of shock that you get with your plants, or if you want to improve the likelihood of them surviving, you should leave those plants in the pots for a longer time if you're starting them from seed. Now, if you get them from a nursery, you want to get them directly out of those pots, because you don't know the soil that they're kept in and you don't know how root bound they are. But if you're starting them, I would recommend waiting until they get really big, so that whenever you take them out of the pots, they're not going to get eaten up by insects, or they're not going to be destroyed by other animals. So after we've filled up our soil pod, we can put on the lid. And the lid just protects the soil and keeps the soil in there. And I have some tape. Now, as you can see, it has a little label here. I'm not going to write directly on that label because I've noticed that it's hard to get off once you write on it one time with a permanent marker. So I'm putting these strips of tape over it, so whenever I'm done with these plants, I can just take that tape off and then put a new tape on. So I'm going to flip the camera around and I'm going to show you guys the rest of my Click and Grow garden. And I'm going to show you guys me putting this in there, labeling it, and putting the seeds in there. I've already did this to the 8 other pods.